Yo, what is up, guys? We're here in Madden franchise, and you're probably wondering, what the fuck is it like in the Madden franchise 10 years later after playing it? Not just simming 10 years, because you know how people just hit the sim 10 years option, see what happens. We actually played 10 years, actually in year 11, season 2027. That's technically the 11th season of the franchise. And I just decided to show you guys what it looks like 10 years later. So, you can see a few things just right off the bat that Ronald Rump is the coach that I am. He's level 30 with 30,000 XP. 30 is the max level you get as a coach, actually. After playing enough times, you would fucking know. You can see, we'll go with the offense first. So, this is what a 49ers roster looks like 10 years later. I got a little bit of explaining to do. The O-line is a lot different. I'll show you that in a second, what I mean. But Quinn Hoffman is the quarterback here. He's an absolute god. Now, let me explain that our XP sliders are a little different too. Let me show you what they're like here. So basically, we started off the franchise with everything at 200%. Because we just wanted to develop players a little faster and all that nonsense. And then I brought them up a little bit as time went by, as you can see. And kickers and punters are 300%, because fuck it. We all love the kickers. So yeah, they're not 300%. They're not ridiculous, but they're improved a little bit. But yeah, so you can see that Quinn Hoffman has become an absolute stud. Now let me give you a little background info about Quinn Hoffman. I drafted him in 2021 at pick 4. I did roll with Jimmy Garoppolo. We'll actually go to him right now. I think he's on the Lions. Yeah, here he is. He's actually the backup quarterback for the Lions now at age 35. But you can see up to 2022, I benched Quinn Hoffman for a year, had him develop, and now he became really good. So you can see Quinn Hoffman, not Quinn Hoffman, Jimmy Garoppolo. He did win MVP in 2019. In 2021, he also won it, and then he won Offensive Player of the Year in 2020. So he was pretty good. I mean, the only reason why I didn't win it the first two in 2017 and 18 was because I think Aaron Rodgers had some stupid fucking seasons. Like, you should have saw him. I think he threw for like 52 touchdowns. This is the CPU. In case you're wondering, we're playing all-pro sim mode for all these games. So yeah, and then in 2022, Quinn Hoffman took over because I had him develop. He was a third-round pick. He had superstar development coming out of the draft. I remember that. He was like a 70 overall. I developed him up to a 91. And Jimmy Garoppolo was also a 91 when I had him. So once he became a 91, I was like, all right, it's time to trade Jimmy. And then I moved on with Quinn Hoffman. He came out of the draft also age 21, which is young for the draft. Came out really young. As you can see, Quinn Hoffman had the five times led the league in passer rating. 5 Pro Bowl appearances in his... Oh, yeah. I was about to say, because I benched him a season. I was about to be like, he didn't make it a Pro Bowl one season? What is this shit? Then you won MVP in 2023, because I benched him for a year and a half. And then he won in 2024, 2025, 2026. And then we're here in 2027. So you can see Quinn Hoffman is completely taken over. He also came out of the draft. He's gotten so much XP with all this MVP shit. He came out of the draft at 75 speed. He has 85 speed now. I think he also had like 93 throw power. And then he had some shit throwing stats, but that's obviously because he was coming out of the draft. I brought him up to 88 stiff arm, so he's a lot better on the run. And yeah. So now we'll show the receiving core off. These two I've had for a very long time. I hoarded up some draft picks at one point, and I drafted these guys both in the first round one year, I think. This is the greatest receiver of all time, Rashad Darman. He's actually now 30 years old in his 8th season, and he went down 2 speed. I had him at 99 speed. He won Rookie of the Year, the year he was a rookie, obviously, in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Offensive Rookie of the Year, and he got so much XP that I managed to get him up to 99 speed. And then now he's just, yeah, see, first pick in 2020, first round, pick 25. He's had 7 Pro Bowl appearances in 7 seasons, and he's one of the best wide receiver quite often. Not every season, though. 2024 was a little different because there was the guy right next to him, Denard McMichael, who he came out of the draft, I think, at 92 speed. I got him to 95 speed. You can see he is pretty fucking good as well, but he's also regressed because he is 29. But as you can see, one of the best wide receivers. I picked him at pick 7. Now, believe it or not, actually, if I recall correctly, Rashad Darman came out of the draft, the first pick overall and everything. He had slow development. Got him up to superstar. I think McMichael already, he either had quick or he already had superstar. I don't remember which one. So one of those two. And then Banks Miles I traded for. Kept him on the team for a while. Tracy Hamilton I drafted here. He's my receiving back out of the backfield. As you can see, look at his catching stats here. 93 route running, 84 catching. He's my receiver out of the backfield on those third down plays and nonsense. O-line's a little different. Let me show you about the O-line. So the offensive line, these are a bunch of players I drafted, but I eventually had to trade because their contracts were too much and I had to clear it up. This was the right guard I drafted. I traded him to the Vikings, as you could see, but he won the best O lineman. He was a 3rd round pick. He was probably one of my best picks that I ever drafted because he was so good for. This is his 2nd season on the Vikings, so. He's in his 10th season, so for 8 seasons, he was so good. He was so fucking good. I think he actually played backup 1 year. He was on the bench, like, in his first season. Then I started him after that. And he was just been so good. He's been so good. Barely any sacks allowed. I think this was his first starting season, and then he's just barely allowed any sacks. And this is when I traded him. This was the left tackle I had. I think I drafted him the same year. What did I say? I drafted him in 2020. When did I draft this guy? I drafted him in 2019. This was the year before. 10th round, 10th overall pick. One of the best linemen. And I traded him to the Texans. Because, again, his contract was filling up too. Better than Joe Thomas. This guy is known as the best left tackle of all time. Let me go to the center. This is the center I had. He's actually on my friend's team now. Fucking asshole. Still my player. When did I draft him? First round in 2019. He won 2 Best Alignment Awards, a couple Pro Bowl appearances. Actually, I think this was after I traded him, so I think my friend made him win Best O-Lineman. And this is when I had him. I think I traded him. Yeah, last year was when I traded everyone. This is the year 2020. So 2026 was when I traded him. I guess he worked out a trade with some other team to get him, and he stole the award from me. Right guard, yeah, this is the right guard I had. And then right tackle, this is actually also my right tackle that I drafted. He's older than the others. I think he was one of the first draft picks I had, if I'm not mistaken. 2018, yeah, see? One of my first draft picks I had. And he's just also he was great. Just, some of these players, man, they just stick to you, and they're so good. Now, my friend was also the New York Giants. He eventually changed to the Brooklyn Bulls, and we made a trade right at the beginning of the franchise. He likes to run the ball, and I like to pass the ball, and I like to have a reliable tight end. So I actually traded Carlos Hyde and a 4th round pick for Evan Ingram. I don't know what you guys think about that trade, but I had Evan Ingram for about 8 years. You kind of see when I had him, so you'll see his production go down. I think this was the last season I had him in 2025. Trade him in the offseason. As you can see, he was pretty productive on my team. And then there were some seasons where he wasn't as productive. But like the first few seasons, because the 49ers had no one, he was my workhorse. 19 touchdowns, 11 touchdowns. He was getting the ball a lot. And 6 Pro Bowl appearances too. Now on to the defense. This is a really solid defense. I like to run nickel a lot, so I really don't use a left outside linebacker. I had Hassan Reddick at one point. I traded him from the Cardinals. I don't remember what I traded. I think it was like it was some stupid trade, but I traded him, and I used him on my team. Then I realized after like 5 seasons that I lined up a nickel and he's never on the field, so I got rid of his ass. This guy though, Harmon Mancuso, by far the greatest defensive pick I have ever chosen. Let's give a little background about this guy before I show you anything else. So let's go to awards. 7th round pick in 2020, right? 7th round pick. I just chose a random linebacker. I'm like, I need a linebacker to fill the void. I think I had Ray Armstrong at the time, so I took a linebacker, and Harmon Mancuso, out of the draft, I think had like 86 speed, like 80 something block shed, and all this other nonsense. And he had quick development too. He had quick development coming out of the draft as a 7th round pick, and I was like, this is going to be the best linebacker ever. If I chose him that late, because his contract was nothing. He's making something stupid now. If you take a look at this, let's look at his contract now. He's making a shit ton now, but it's all deserving, dude. It's 100. What was that, 130 mil contract? He's so deserving of it because look at these fucking stats, dude. Look at these stats. He actually had 92 speed. I brought him up to 92 speed with all the XP he's made. And then he has 99 block shot, 98 tag. He's ridiculous. He also has 95 zone, 91 man. I think he had like 80 zone coverage coming out of the draft. I don't know, but he has 81 strength too, which is really nice. He's just amazing. And if you want to look at his defensive rewards, well, take a look at his awards he's made. 4 Pro Bowl appearances, led the league in interceptions the year he won Defensive Player of the Year. I got like 11 user picks with him. That was the year of the ages. We'll not get into that one. That was a different year though. That was a special year. This guy, Spencer Payne, former Heisman winner. If you don't know, Heisman winners in the draft get a superstar development. You figure out who the Heisman winner is week 15 of your seasons, and then you go to the news page, draft stories. You see who's the Heisman winner. That Heisman winner is always going to have superstar development, and Spencer Payne is one of them. He did win a Heisman. I think he had 87 speed or 86 speed coming out of the draft, and like I said, superstar development for being a Heisman winner. And Keanu Neal has been the heart and soul of this defense. Traded him. The first thing I did in this franchise was I traded for Keanu Neal, and ever since then, he has been incredible. You take a look at these season stats, year by year. 2016 doesn't count. 2017, 4 interceptions, 5 interceptions, 7, 3, 6, 5. He's just ball hawking everywhere. He didn't get any interceptions last season. Didn't get a couple sacks though in each of those seasons. Just heart and soul of this defense. And god damn it, I went back again. Didn't mean to. Show you the awards. If he's won any awards, I don't think he has. Just 6 Pro Bowl appearances in 12 seasons. He's in his 12th season now. And I had a 99 overall safety. Traded him. This guy, Leonard Greed, I drafted 7th-round pick. He had quick development. This is this offseason. He's already an 85 overall. Got him to the 91 zone threshold, as you can see. He's a rookie. And yeah, let me show you. I got one more. This is a very young D line as well. I had. Oh, you know what? This guy. Let me show you this guy. This guy drafted number 1 in true talent. Picked him at number 1. He had normal development, and then my friend actually picked this guy at number 2 that same draft 4 years ago, and then traded him to me, and I was like, yeah, I'll take it, fuck it. Marvin Phillips, 6'3". Oh my god. But look at this guy here, Cedric Sidney. This was the number 1 true talent, drafted at number 1. This man, for some reason, look at these. Look at these interceptions in 4 seasons. What was this, 26 interceptions, and he's 26 interceptions already. Look at all these pick sixes. He has 14 pick sixes in his career already. And I looked up the record. The record is 20 non-offensive touchdowns. This man's in his 4th season and has 14. That's just insane. This is a lockdown corner I traded from the Saints to my team. And then draft pick. There's another draft pick. He sucks. Um, Draft pick 2 years ago. Draft pick 2 years ago. Draft pick this year, I think. Is he this year or is he last year? Who is he? Last year. And, yeah. So let me show you guys, my coach. So my coach is Ronald Rump. He has been to 7 Super Bowls, won 6 of them. Coach of the Year 8 times. Been eliminated a couple times. But, I'll show you by the users. If I could show you by user. No, let me do all. God damn it. All and user. Nope, not active. User. God damn it. So you can see this is basically all we have. We have Johnny Manziel. He's the owner of the Brooklyn Bulls, which is the, actually the New York Giants. He moved to Brooklyn. Jay Gruden is my friend who, he's the Jaguars. He's the Jaguars. He moved to London. Fucking stupid. To the AFC South. He moves to fucking London. And then we have, Dale here, who, he has a history. So this guy, my friend here, he was the Bengals. He moved to Dublin as the Dublin Celtic Tigers, and then he moved to Mexico City as the Diablos, went bankrupt, had to leave the team and join the Raiders, and then now he's the Raiders and moved to Chicago and is now the Chicago Blues. Fucking stupid. But he's been in the league for a long time too. It's just that he had to join the Raiders recently. I think this is his 4th season as the Raiders. He had to rebuild. I think the first 2 seasons was rebuild, and then he went to win now mode. Won a Super Bowl, and yeah. Probably want to see some NFL records at this point now, don't you? So Drew Brees, I think he retired in 2020. Played a few more seasons. Finished with 79,000 passing yards. That is just insane. Oh my God, it's gonna be impossible to beat. But I'm on the way there. I think I'll get there one day. So passing touchdowns, Drew Brees 580 touchdowns. That's just absolutely insane. Andrew Luck is still in the league. Actually, he's playing for He's on a team right now. I don't remember what team. But he's still in the league. Phil Rivers retired. I think Matt Ryan retired. I have no clue. Ben Roethlisberger did retire. Aaron Rodgers retired. And yeah. So you can see the pass touchdowns there. Rushing yards. So Le'Veon Bell, he did retire last season, and he finished 2nd all-time in yards. Todd Gurley is still in the league, and I play him twice a year. He's still kicking my ass. Ezekiel Elliott's still in the league, kicking my ass. Devonta Freeman retired, actually. Christian McCaffrey's still in the league. I think he's on the Eagles right now, not the Broncos. I don't know why it says Broncos. Pretty sure he's on the Eagles, though. And then Dalvin Cook still in the league as well. I think Jordan Howard might be in the league, too. I don't know. Rushing touchdowns, Ross Aiken, that's my friend who's the Giants, now the Bulls. He's a touchdown machine. I think he's 31 right now. So he's got maybe 1 or 2 seasons left. He's got to get that touchdown record. He's so close. Christian McCaffrey becoming one of the greatest running backs of all time. So you can see 144 touchdowns. And then you have Le'Veon Bell. You have Ezekiel Elliott still there. Todd Gurley, Jordan Howard, Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is insane in this league. One of the first things is when we start up this franchise, two crazy things happen when we start up this franchise. The Titans traded for Joe Mixon. So he was on the Titans. He's still on the Titans, if I'm not mistaken. And another thing was the Broncos traded for Jacoby Brissett. And Jacoby Brissett has been actually a top-tier quarterback ever since. Like, he's been on the team all 10 years, and he's still there, and he's still killing it, believe it or not. Receiving yards, Larry Fitzgerald eventually retires, 2nd all-time, but still so far behind Jerry Rice. So far behind. Julio Jones, 4th all-time. Mike Evans, 5th all-time in yards. DeAndre Hopkins, 9th all-time. I think he just retired, too. That's just, I think Mike Evans is still in the league, though. I think Julio Jones did retire. I'm not sure, though. But I know Mike Evans is still in the league. So if he wants to get 7,000 more yards, good luck with that. Receiving touchdowns, though, there's my boy Rashad Darman. He's right up there in the touchdowns. I got to get him those touchdowns before he retires. He's only 30. He's got plenty of time left. But before he becomes a slug, I want to get him some touchdowns. And then he's not on the yards list yet. I think he's at 12,000 yards, so he's still got a way to go. Yeah, there's Rashad Darman, and then you have John Ross. So let's explain John Ross real quick. I'll show you. So if you go to season, so you can see right there, some guy named Lamar Jackson threw for 8,000 yards, and he kind of threw for 106 touchdowns. That's a bit and you go to receiving touchdowns. John Ross did get 52 touchdowns. That's a little, that requires a little bit of explaining. Let's just say my friend wanted to get the records. Okay, that was my friend who was the Bengals, who went to Dublin, who went to Mexico City. This guy, and yeah, 52 touchdowns, and 4,000 receiving yards. Which, I got to give him credit to this, though. 150 catches. Do you know how hard it is to get, like, do you see any stat line here about catches in a season in the Madden franchise? No, because you play shorter games. We play 7-minute quarters, so we get half the amount of catches. This guy, he threw for 150 catches. That's actually pretty impressive. I'll give him that one. That's difficult to do. But then you also have defensive sacks in a season. Tack McKinley was on my team for a little bit. 31 sacks in a season. Insane. Eric Armstead was also, he was on my team. Obviously, because he was drafted by the Niners. 26 sacks in a season. And Myles Garrett had 24 in a season. Brandon Graham had 23 in 2020. That is actually really impressive. And then I think, no, I thought there was another guy in our league that got something crazy. Oh, and then you probably just saw the Thunderbirds right here. This is actually the New York Jets. I had another friend that was in the league. He was the Jets and relocated to the Thunderbirds. So if you see Thunderbirds, that's the Jets. And Desmond King. Dude, Desmond King had 16 interceptions in a season, which is insane. That is actually insane. He wasn't on anyone's team. He was playing for the Packers. No one's the Packers. He just got 16 interceptions in his season in 2021. Insane, dude. No clue how that happened. Don't know how it happened. That's absolutely insane, though. I mean, if you look at defensive interceptions now, Desmond King is now on my friend's team, the Chicago Blues, the Raiders, or whatever you want to call it. And he's at 69 now. 69 interceptions. It's still a long way to go from Paul Krause's record. But Jalen Ramsey is now on the Patriots, and he's at 64 interceptions. He's still so good, dude. He's still in the league and still so good. In case anyone wants to look at NFL records right now for the active players, you can see Andrew Luck at 55,000 yards. He's on the Cardinals. That's what team he's on. I think he's starting, too. 55,000 yards, 400 touchdowns, 200 picks. Jameis Winston right under him. Blake Bortles right under him. The active players in the league. And then you can see Jacoby Brissett. See what I mean? Jacoby Brissett. Killing it still. Still pretty fucking good. Like, he's been on the Broncos all his career. And there's a couple of times where he was an MVP candidate. He didn't win it. But he was up there a couple of times. Offensive Player of the Week a couple of times for 2 Pro Bowl appearances. So, don't sleep on him. If you want to see the rushing leaderboards as of right now, Todd Gurley, Ezekiel Elliott, Christian McCaffrey, they're all insane. All insane. If you want to look at touchdowns for active players, Ross Aiken, my friend, drafted him a while back. If you want to take a look at this. So, awards, his second round pick in 2018. I think he had him sitting out for 2 seasons or something like that, maybe 1 season. He's led the league in rushing yards twice. He won MVP in 2022. And just been a baller. Been a fucking baller for him. And then, you see the yards and touchdowns. So I'm going to do receiving. Brandon Cooks. This is receiving yards among active players. John Ross, Mike Evans, Brandon Cooks, Odell Beckham, Rashad Darman. Only 420 receptions. It's insane. Touchdowns. You want to start with touchdowns? John Ross, McMichael, Evan Ingram, who's on my team. That's why. Uh, Beckham. I don't know who this guy is, but he's a baller for some reason. Top tier receiver in the league. I don't know what it is. Anyone know who this guy is? I have no clue. And you got a bunch of other names that aren't aware. And then it was sorted by receptions if you want to see receptions. Brandon Cooks at 1,100. God damn. Mike Evans almost at 1,100. Amari Cooper is on the fucking Falcons. What? It's on the Falcons. He's still pretty good. Age 33. These are some decent stats. Just 79 Excel. Eek. Eek. If you want to sort it by sacks, we'll sort it by tackles first. Total tackles. None of our players that we play as are going to be up there. I mean, Deion Jones is up there a little bit, but my friend abandoned the Diablos a long time ago. So, yeah, as you can see, you're not going to find any of our players on here. But if you want to see them, there you go. Miles Garrett's up there. Good for him. Sorted by sacks. Tack McKinley at 155, dude. Holy shit. Eric Armstead at 127. Miles Garrett at 116. Jonathan Allen, Solomon Thomas, Joey Bosa. God damn. And if you want to sort by interceptions, Jalen Ramsey, killing it. Not sure why Desmond King isn't on here. If you want to see Desmond King, because I have to sort by blues. Yeah, 69 interceptions. And then I'm gonna go back to NFL. So yeah, you see interceptions. Marcus Peters up there. Shazier is up there. There's someone on my team that has a shit ton of interceptions, other than Cedric Sidney. If I could find him, it might be Mancuso, that linebacker that I have. There's DJ Tubbs. That was someone my friend drafted. I think he drafted him when he was on the Bengals, and he actually traded him over to the Blues. That's good for him. I should do that. Landon Collins is up there. Antoine Mack. This is someone that my friend on the Bulls drafted a long time ago. Very long time ago, and he's still killing it. Yeah, this guy, 23 interceptions. There's someone on my team that has a lot more than that. Hold on. I don't know why I couldn't see him. Sometimes you gotta sort it by team. Yeah, Keanu Neal, 45. Mancuso, 33. Cedric Sidney, 26. And he's played half the amount of time this guy has. That's just insane. And in case anyone wants to know how this season is going so far, you see the yards right here. Pat Mahomes is leading the league in passing yards, got passing touchdowns. Quinn Hoffman is 30. Casey Vandermeid, no, fuck that is 20. I want to go by rushing yards. So we got Banks Miles here at 707. Telvin Timms, Marcel Darden. I think Marcel Darden was on my friend who's the Black Knights' team. I think he was on his team. I think he traded him. You want to sort by touchdowns. Take a look at touchdowns here. Keyshawn McNeil. I actually drafted this guy, Keyshawn McNeil. I drafted him and I traded him for Banks Miles, which was a very dumb decision. Yes, he 10th overall pick. I traded him for Banks Miles because Banks Miles was a lot better, as you can see. Receiving. I want to see receiving. I don't know if you guys really want to see this. We're in week 8. I already have 1,000 reception yards because I'm trying to gotta pad this guy's stats before he becomes a slug, you know. 20 touchdowns as well. And then this guy Keon Davenport is doing pretty good. Antoine Marion is a pretty good tight end that my friend has. 99 overall tight end too. Goddamn. And if you want to see sacks, probably not a lot of sacks. Tack McKinley is 7. God damn. I really shouldn't have let him go. Someone on my team, I don't think it shows. For some reason, it doesn't show my team. What do I have? 9.5 with this guy. And Traylon Bullock's 4.5. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, you know what? Let me stay on the 49ers. Just want to see interceptions. Because it's probably not going to show my team. So Cedric Sidney is 6. We're in week 8. And he is 6. Does anyone else have that much? Tyrone Patterson is 4. Okay. And yeah. Holy crap, I've been talking for 30 minutes. God damn. Hey, that's pretty much it. So, hold on, before I end this, so as you can see, 10 seasons have gone down. and we're sorted by Super Bowls and everything. So I've won 6 Super Bowls. My other friend won 2. This guy's won 0. I think he's been in it for 8 of the past 10 years. I think he missed the first year or 2. I don't remember. And the reason why championships are only it's not as much as legacy score and everything is because he was the Jaguars the whole time. But we kicked him out of the league at one point because we thought he tried what's the word I'm looking for? He tried to collude stats. He was he rage quit out of a game when my friend was playing him, and he tried to fuck up his stats so he could win the next game. But instead, kicked him out of the league as a result. Now he's back. It was like a few weeks later, like a few weeks in the season later, he came back. But now he's the coach he was the owner of the Jaguars. Now he's the coach. And then you have my friend here who was the Bengals, then was the Diablos, or he was the Bengals and then the Dublin Celtic Tigers, then the Mexico City Diablos, and now he's the Raiders, now the Blues. I think he's won 2 Super Bowls actually. He's won 2 because if I sort it by the if I could find a Diablos owner. Oh, come on. If I show you the Diablos owner, you'll see he won a Super Bowl. Where is he? Oh wait, he's not going to be there. Right? Yeah, this is a new owner. That's why. Head coach. No, it's not going to work. All right, whatever. You believe me. He won one as the Diablos. And then he won one as the Blues. So yeah. 33,000 legacy score. If you don't know, 10,000 is the Hall of Fame mark. So if you see any number above 10,000, they're in the Hall of Fame. As you can see, some of these names are Hall of Fame worthy. And you can tell because you can see a player retired, it says Hall of Fame above him. And then John Madden, 10,000 Hall of Fame. And then you can see Eli Manning's not on here, which I find ridiculous that Eli Manning's not in the Hall of Fame. But what are you going to do? So you see all the future Hall of Famers for players that are still in the league are here. If they're still active, they're future Hall of Famers. And yeah, so just take a look at these if you want to enjoy them. And yeah. So yeah, guys. That's just my perspective of the franchise because my friends have other stories about their teams, but I can't fill in the blanks for them for you. So just enjoy it. That's going to, I guess it's going to end this episode. Just so you guys know what it looks like to be in a franchise 10 years later, playing the franchise, not just hitting Advanced Week and hitting Sim 10 years. If you can, Sim 10 years. Yeah, you see, we don't do that. We're not like that. We actually played all 10 seasons because Muck got boring, and you're just like, let's give franchise a try. And we've been hooked onto this, man. We have been hooked onto this. We started this franchise probably. Can I look up a start date? Probably not. If I could find one, I'll put it in the description. But yeah, it's gonna end this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, all the crazy stuff down below. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.